Mr. Campion's Falcon, a thriller by Philip Youngman Carter, dramatized for radio by Eddie Joy. With William Fox as Mr. Campion and Felix Felton as Mr. Porteous. Mr. Campion's Falcon.
Good afternoon, madam. Can I help you?
I'm Anthea Peregrine. Your Mr. Newgate rang me.
Of course, madam. About poor Mr. Matthews.
Yes.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Maxwell Newgate. We at the Drovers Arms would like to extend our deepest sympathy. We're all most distressed that that the gentleman should have passed away. Your uncle, perhaps?
No, an old family friend. Father and I have been doing up the fisherman's cottage my mother left me when she died. He was going to rent it. Possibly that's how you knew my name.
Well, I've had your name quite some time, my dear Miss Peregrine, as a forwarding address should it be needed. Indeed, it's the only address we have. I felt justified in getting in touch with you when the tragedy occurred, and there seemed no one else to whom it might be mentioned.
Very thoughtful. Thank you. Could you tell me what actually happened?
Yes, indeed. We found your friend asleep, or so the maid thought, at about 10:30 on Wednesday morning. That is to say, the day before yesterday. It was some time before any of us actually realized that he had passed away. I sent for Dr. Penn, our regular physician, and he came at once. He treated Mr. Matthews for some time for his heart condition, and he was quite satisfied as to the cause of death. And so he spared us, and if I may say so yourself, any unpleasantness. I consider my legal position as an hotelier, or innkeeper, to use the legal term. There were Mr. Matthews' effects, including a valuable car in our garage. Although he was no stranger to us at the Drovers Arms, we really knew very little about his background. So to speak. So that I'd never inquired before the tragic occurrence. I assumed, if you'll forgive me, that he had recently retired. An engineer, perhaps? He seemed a very practical gentleman.
He was a very keen archaeologist. My father's a housemaster. My father's a housemaster at Brett School in Suffolk. And a couple of years ago, an ancient Roman ship was found near Brett School in Suffolk. And a couple of years ago, an ancient Roman ship was found near our playing fields. Matty, he was helping us to dig it up. Matty, he was helping us to dig it up. He was helping us to dig it up.
How interesting. Most interesting. Yes, most interesting. Yes, indeed. Well, I've taken the liberty of preparing a list of people you may wish to see. I trust you will, for we know no one else to whom we can turn.
Of course. I'll take charge of it all.
I trust you'll not mind me saying that somewhat relieved, Miss Peregrine. Now, here is the list. There is the vicar. Here is the list. There is the vicar. He was Church of England.
That he was? Did it matter?
Oh, I don't think so. And the vicar seems to agree. The funeral is arranged for 3 tomorrow afternoon.
That was very kind. I see you list the coroner. I thought if someone was under a doctor's care, he didn't come into it.
Well, in a case such as this, it was thought advisable that the coroner be told. Though Doctor answered all questions totally to his... Our Constable Leatherdale, you see him listed here, removed certain constable works from his home, and also the bank, and I've also listed Russell and Clark, who are solicitors, should you have needs, at the foot of the hill.
You seem to have thought of everyone, Mr. Newgate.
Well, we assured Miss Peregrine that if there's anything I or my staff can do to...
Thank you for your help so far. Now, about my room.
I've taken the liberty of reserving your 2 nights. But, of course, you may stay with us much longer, should you wish, in the circumstances.
However nice your Cotswold country may be, I'd like to be back home in Suffolk by to see them before dinner, I think. So I'll start straight away.
Miss Peregrine, good evening to you.
Good evening.
I've taken the liberty of instructing your waiter to set your coffee tray at a terrace table. I thought you would prefer the peace after your busy afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Newgate. That was thoughtful.
May I show you? There we are, Miss Peregrine.
Oh, thank you.
I must mention I've had an inquiry from another guest who asked the favor of conversation.
To the terrace.
I think you should see him. Here's the gentleman. I think you should see him. Here's the gentleman now. Now. I'll leave you to your...
Miss Anthea Peregrine, forgive me for intruding, but of course I am. Forgive me for intruding, but of course I am. Is my intention.
I've had a very long day.
Stranger to you. As you were aware, indeed, anyone so gross,
situation, the ship was anchored in international waters and there was no shore leave. Well, some men got very drunk. Somehow one of them had a pistol and shot one of his... That was... Or another man had a bullet in the spine and the captain was shot in the leg. The maniac jumped over the side and the sharks got him.
And Makepeace?
Oh, he wasn't on board. No, his contract renewal had only just been... He got to Port Bundy on the mainland the day before, but he didn't go out to the ship until 5 later.
Is any of this relevant? Albert, all we really want is a 10-minute chat with Makepeace. Are we anywhere nearer finding him?
Someone...
Is a 10-minute chat with Makepeace. Are we anywhere nearer finding him?
Someone thinks it's Rent Lewis, hence the fuss they started. Can I pick up a point, Miss Devenish?
Yes.
What was that about a contract renewal?
With Makepeace, you mean? Oh, thoroughly distasteful episode. He made outrageous demands to try and recoup his tax losses out of the company, and he behaved like a spoiled schoolboy I tell him so.
Yes, I've heard mention of this run-in with the tax people.
It isn't the responsibility of the company so.
Yes, I've heard mention of this run-in with the tax people.
It isn't the responsibility of the company to look after the employees' tax affairs. Should we be called names? To look after the employees' tax affairs. Should we be called names to the employees' tax affairs? Should we be called names when we make our position clear on the matter?
By which I gather he was annoyed.
Oh, very. When we make our position clear on the matter.
By which I gather he was annoyed.
Oh, very. Our position clear on the matter.
By which I gather he was annoyed.
Oh, very.
Over this renewal, Makepeace was then about 50 tire field workers. How was it renewed?
No, we had no trouble. Went off into the blue without leaving a forwarding address at bank, and we had to correspond by mail through them. We made all sorts of concern, my dad. He was given a 5-year contract at a much greater salary, and he insisted on a sum of enormous size on retirement. Negotiation months. It was deliverance. When it was all settled by the final cable, he went from wherever he was straight to Port Bundy.
How soon after that last cable did he get there?
Oh, day or so, I think.
How soon after that last cable did he get there?
Oh, day or so, I think.
I see. Contract would have expired on his 55th birthday. That's in February sometime, isn't it?
February the 7th, yes, it did.
When did he arrive in the Grand Cindy area?
No, that would have been first week in October, I think.
And presumably the renewal was backdated.
First week in October, I think.
And presumably the renewal was backdated to the February.
It most certainly wasn't. It most certainly wasn't. He'd been holding us to ransom for 9 months, and he hadn't done a stroke of work for us in all that time. I typed that contract out myself, and I told him exactly why I dated it as I did. We'd been absurdly generous without backdating it as well.
Did he...
A gratuity for deliberately proceeding the negotiation.
Damn it, woman! From February to October, that means he wasn't under contract. If that renewal wasn't backdated to make it absolutely continuous, Omega has no claim on him for anything he did or anything he found in that time. And he gave us the chance to turn it down.
We refused to be bullied.
We refused? You mean you refused? Understand one thing, Miss Dash. The chairman's opinion is company policy. The chairman's secretary's opinion is nothing. Even if she's been in the job as many years as you, secretary's opinion is nothing. Even if she's been in the job as many years as you have. Secretaries are only secretaries. They aren't in the command.
There isn't enough air in here.
They don't make decisions.
Really, Mr. Cook, enough air in here.
They don't make decisions.
Really, Mr. Cook, I am not a...
Hugh, exit Dragon. Oh, dear, a little bit of a mess. Which brings us back to Makepeace. I'm getting an idea what this might be about now. Within a day or so of that final cable, Makepeace was in Port Bundi, which is in an area of very poor communications, so he must have been close. From what he left flat, and anyway well known as his hobby, we know he's a good skipper. We've established that McCarty knew Makepeace. This is obvious, if only from their being together and surrendered trip. Morris J. is well Hughes lived there, and Makepeace is known to be a visitor. Then there's Porteous, to be a visitor. Then there's Porteous. He's no crook himself, but he used ordinary crooks to do his legwork, questioning Captain Wood. Have you had time to get a line on him, Lamb?
I did find out a little. Third Jeremy Collins, known as Will Collins. One conviction for a confidence trick, known to have a violent thought to have been in far more trouble than he's ever moved in court. Smooth talker when he's calmed down, dresses well. My contacts at the yard wouldn't put the Newgate murder past him. Once been hiding cars, and taken out a nice flat for his girlfriend. Here's a list of recent contacts and a photo.
Thanks. So that's...
A list of recent contacts and a photo.
Thanks. So that's Colin. Hello, there's a thing.
A name on the list surprises you. A name on the list surprises you. Edwin Lee Forsdyke.
Trading Milburn Associates, the Pier...
Edwin Lee Forsdyke.
Trading Milburn Associates, the Piers Pop Shop, no less. The Piers Pop Shop, no less.
When the Piers had things to pop. But still a high-class pawn...
Piers Pop Shop, no less.
When the Piers had things to pop. But still a high-class pawnbrokers even today. Some people think that Forsdyke acquired the business for a very reason, as a front. Where's he's a fence?
Well. Thank you, Lampeter. You was thorough.
So, where do we go from here?
One man we haven't investigated.
So, where do we go from here?
One man we haven't investigated. Morris J. Specialist in walnut and Dutch marquetry. Now, I could go to him, or with Lampeter's help, persuade him to come. I could go to him, or with Lampeter's help, persuade him to come to me. Hello? Albert Campion speaking?
Mr. Campion, you do not know me, so I must introduce myself. My name is...
Not in Dutch marquetry.
That is my special province. You and I appear to have interests in common. I wonder if you would consider discussing them.
I do have an affection for marquetry, I must say. Shall I drift along for a chat, or would you like to...
I have a great dislike for people who pry in my affairs, and recently nearly every move I make has been spied upon. A man called Lampeter, whom I have seen in your company, has been irritatingly persistent. I would care for his presence at our meeting.
That I will guarantee.
Thank you. Now, if you would come to a small restaurant in Bond Street, I have a problem. In Bond Street, I have a problem.
Mr. Campion. Do come in.
Thank you.
Do come in.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. J.
Forgive my appearance. I had some difficulty on the way.
You had an accident?
No.
You were attacked?
A minor scuffle. I am bruised, but no.
You were attacked?
A minor scuffle. I am bruised, but not injured.
Something of
the
the sort happened once before. Any connection, or just natural hazards of the trade?
You know that.
I read the papers.
I was attacked not for money, but for information. On both occasions I was searched, but not robbed. Not your people, I think.
Oh, certainly not my style at all.
Where are your interests?
Yes. My problem is the late Mr. Matthews, or rather